Hi, I'm here for office hours.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good.
What are you doing right now?
I'm writing you an email. That's a poem called Read Real Love by Gwendolyn Brooks, and I teach it, I think, every semester.
Could you write down one word that defines yourself on that piece of paper next to your laptop?
Oh, I could. Do I have a pen ready? I would say curious with a question mark. Home for me, I was born in Germany. I grew up in New York City, but I've called Massachusetts home for around a decade.
How did it feel to get your PhD this year?
It felt like a huge weight was off my shoulders, and then it was replaced by several more weights. So I think it felt good. Maybe the hardest poems I've had to teach are the ones I love the most, and I have the most personal connections with. So there's a poet I really love, you can see his face kind of peeking out right there, named James Merrill, and his poem, Lost in Translation, about childhood in New York City is one I feel so closely, like right on my nerve ending. And I don't know if I could explain that to everyone. But honestly, it's a challenge every time to figure out how to teach a poem, how to make it relevant. Sometimes we find out new answers in the room, and sometimes the students are the ones who show me why a poem's important. I find contemporary poetry as interesting as I find life, because there's a poem about everything, or there will be. There will be poems about Instagram celebrities, and poems about New York, and poems about the snow outside. And if there isn't one yet, there will be next week. I wrote my first poems when I was, I think, around 10 or so. I wrote them as birthday presents for my dad. I wrote a poem about his favorite video game, which was called Unreal, and it was a perfect sonnet. It probably was the best poem I've ever written. And I also wrote a poem about a rainstorm, which it used words that I must have been just like scrolling through thesaurus.com, because I don't know how I knew those words at 11, but it sounded great.
What kind of words?
I think I described a lightning bolt as a bridge of optimal cry.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like that. Even today I don't know what it means. If I wasn't teaching poetry, and this is maybe why I'm the luckiest guy in the world, I would just be reading and writing poetry on the side. And now I get to teach it for free.
Do you have any guilty pleasures?
Oh, I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I only have pleasures.
Just poetry?
Yeah.
Were you scared to go to office hours as an undergraduate?
No, because I went to a very small school, Amherst College, a liberal arts school, and we would just run into our professors everywhere at the grocery store and in town, and so the idea of going to their office hours is just continues with our whole academic life there.
What are some internet obsessions?
The one thing I'm as nerdy about as I am about poetry is music, and there's definitely lots of crossover between those worlds. Lots of poets like debating on Twitter who their favorite rappers, dead or alive, are. And I guess food videos, which is more aspirational. I don't always cook what I want.
So what are you going to do after this interview?
I'm going to get ready for a last class, and I'll think of grand sweeping things to say about poetry.
Cool. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh yeah, thanks for coming off those. I'll see you around.
Why is there a Rubik's Cube in your fireplace?
There's a Rubik's Cube in my fireplace because that was all I did junior year of high school, is I got really good at Rubik's Cubes.